Hi, Mix. This is my
How
new name for you, by the way.
I know,
I
I
like
like
it.
it. In fact, there are a few people that call me Mix, actually, and the people that do, I actually aren't really in my life anymore. Not for any particular reason, but there
Yeah,
are seasons, and you sort of move through.
true.
Now, I have a question. Is that a
Yes.
Viore hoodie?
Oh my God, can you believe it? It's not a Viore hoodie and it's not even an Aviator Nation hoodie. I should just get off this podcast and go to bed,
Oh
right?
my God, yeah. What, are you a fraud?
Is your tank top a Viore tank top? Are
It
you
is,
wearing
and it was
that?
your Viore tank top, which is amazing. So,
It sort of speaks to our relationship, right?
yeah,
Like we just want to give the shirt off of our back to each other, actually.
amazing,
It is
exactly.
amazing. And as you were saying, one thing that I love about people that are close to me in my life
Yeah,
know that if I two things, if you start listening to Tupac and James Taylor, then I have arrived in your soul. Okay, there's that. And then the other thing is you get a nickname. You get a freaking
yes,
nickname.
yeah,
So
I love it.
so this is where it is. And I also plan on not being a seasonal friend. I plan on being the kind that continually stay in your life for always. And so that's where I'll stand. I was thinking, I heard something. Reese Witherspoon was being interviewed, and she said that there are, like, she was quoting from this like coach, and I thought this was so great, that the real key to relationships is to think about it like, is that person depositing? Are they making regular deposits?
Nice.
Right?
Yeah,
Right? Or are they just drawing money out?
yeah,
Right? Just constantly, they what's the opposite of making a deposit is a withdrawal, right?
withdraw. Yeah,
Are they just withdrawing? So she said that the people that are depositing are nicknaming you. They're asking questions of you. They are curious about the person that you are and becoming,
hmm,
and they're just there. They're there in the ways that you need them to be. And the person that is not, is clearly just constantly withdrawing, never putting a
yeah,
deposit in. And then she said there's this very strange group of people who just are neutral. They don't
hmm.
make any, they do nothing. They don't deposit, they don't withdraw. So
Are
I
they
hope
are
to
they
be the
friends?
friend.
Are they
Yeah,
friends
I'm not
still?
even, that's a great question. I don't even, probably in my category, they would not be. I always talk about relationships, Mikki, because I think they're like key to health. I know
I
our
agree.
plan is strength and protein, but I actually think that the way to reduce cortisol in your body is to really like find people that deposit as much as they can. So yeah, I guess, yeah, maybe that category isn't really a friend, but I just more of quoting her, but I was thinking
No,
about
I
it,
love it. So
context to us.
I've got a couple of thoughts on this. One, first of all, I'm a relationships person, and I really struggle to give up relationships, even ones which don't serve me. I'm much
Mm,
better now as an adult than what I was when I was in my 20s, but I really hold on. I sort of go into something believing the best, and even though some people in my life have proved time and again that they're assholes,
totally.
it's a slow learner. So I'm with you, Jess. I'm a relationships person, um and my other thought around it is that I do love that depositing thing, and I think that, well, two thoughts actually. One, what you say is totally backed up by research, like
Mm,
social connections, etc. And don't we all know it? But it's the um being around people who you want to make the deposits. I think that is
mm.
also, so it's not just the people around you that are that are of service to you, but you want to be of service to them. Like that to me is a solid relationship.
Well, I think that's why this relationship works, and I think it's a medium to invite people in to talk about this stuff, because
Yeah.
unless you're saying it out loud, you actually don't know why your brain chemistry changes. I want to ask
Yeah.
you one question about when like we all do. You say, in my 20s or whatever, it was hard for me to give up relationships. What was hard about that for you?
I think it's probably the people pleasing aspect,
Hmm.
maybe. Like, so, I'm thinking of one in particular, and I say in my 20s. Legitimately, this went on to my 40s, and there will
Sure.
still be people that are in. Like, I'm sure if I thought hard enough, but I don't really think too hard about it. But some two particular people, or one in particular, who was just a bit of a narcissist and, dare I say, sociopath.
Hmm.
And but the people pleasing aspect of it sort of kept me in this fear mode of not wanting to disappoint them, to the point that it actually, like, was only a couple of years ago, and I was just like, I'm out.
Totally.
And that once, like, part of the out was stopping following them on social media. So suddenly
Mm,
I was no longer exposed to the toxic nature of their posts, and they weren't acting that there was bad behavior. Like, it wasn't like it was directed toward me, although part of it was to a number of people, because if you were in, you were in, but if you were out, you were so far out, and boy did they let you know it. And I feel like it was almost partly due to COVID and everything that went on there that really made me evaluate people that added value and people that just took and just tried to and made it almost there. It felt like the way they made me feel I didn't love, and regardless of how they were, it was actually just about how I felt. And so it was easy to, at that moment, to sort of walk away and realize that I had other things. But also, Jess, probably part of it was I spent a large part of my sort of mid-20s to mid-30s single, and therefore you
mm,
sort of feel like you're a little bit of a lone unit out there, and so you're probably more likely to attach to people despite them showing you their character, you because there wasn't a safe space to come home and have that comfort that you get in a really great relationship with your partner, spouse, etc. I think
mm,
I probably held on a bit much there too.
mm. That's so, that's a really great answer. And I think that you're totally right. I think it's like having the spaces to unload, right? Where
Mm,
somebody can just kind of hear it. I think that we underestimate. I mean, I've tried to get better at it, although I know sometimes it's hard because I get excited and I talk a lot, but I've completely understood the deliciousness of active listening. Somebody's just
mm,
listening to you
mm.
and not trying to talk over you or not, they're just, it's just listening. They're just hearing you and maybe not even trying to fix whatever's going on. Maybe they're just
Yeah.
simply trying to hear it with the opportunity to think about what that means later on. But true active listening, I think, is like one of the most like precious, wonderful gifts
Mm,
because you can process things once you understand them.
yeah.
Otherwise, you walk around kind of feeling like half of a person.
Yeah. a
Yeah.
hundred
So
percent.
you're right. So I do think finding people, and I think like we met.
Mm.
People always ask, "Well, how did you meet Mikki?" And I was like, "Oh, such a great story. Had Mikki and I met in a business group. We
Yeah.
like, and it was, it's fun because you're in these groups, and they're obviously like-minded people, but there's always something in a room or in a group that draws you to that other
Mm.
human. Like,
Mm.
I want to get to know them better. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It
Yeah.
may not be like best friends and here's our life plan that day, but there's something about them that is charging for you.
Yeah.
So, I think we both kind of, met and felt, when you say kind of that little charge that you
Yeah.
get when
Yeah.
you
Like,
meet somebody.
you're cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
you. Yeah. And not that other people weren't, but you
Yeah.
absolutely. It's interesting what makes you want to get to know someone better and invest. And whereas other people who are perfectly lovely, you
Hmm.
don't you don't feel the same sort of, that same vibe, I suppose, because it's all energy, right? Like the energy that
Totally.
you give off and the energy that you receive,
Yes.
like it's got to gel.
I love it. I follow it. It's my guiding light. It's like a
Yeah.
flashlight always. If it's
Yeah.
not turned on, I can't see. So I feel that. And I've always appreciated like your honesty in the way that you communicate and that kind of like sort of it's hard to lovingly push people, right?
Mm.
Continually out of their comfort zones, like hug them. Like
Yeah.
I've got you. Like we're here with each other, but
Yeah.
we're also going to really push for growth. So I think there's something like completely powerful in that. And then I just how we grew into creating Strength Renewed, which was like
Yeah.
super exciting. And we had all of these like, meetings and talks about what we thought it could be. And then we knew that there's all this incredible information, but they have to hear it from us. in this
Yeah.
relationship
Yeah.
energetically, right?
I
And
agree.
right,
And it's a filter. And this is the
a
thing, like
filter.
when you find people that you trust, like, so there are people in, out there who we both know who trust our perspectives because they're informed, like you have to find those voices. And but also there's something about, well, these two girls, they really like each other, they get on really well,
Mm.
and they're really smart. What do they have to say? Because these are the qualities I look for when I'm listening to people who I feel are mentors, like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. There has to be like that thing, that energy that makes me like want to get to know them better because
Yeah.
of their stories, their backgrounds, but then the energy that they have with each other. So
Yeah.
I think when people talk about creating a podcast, it's there is there's a lot of knowledge, but there's a little bit of magic, right? That has to
100.
happen.
Yeah.
So it's not, although it would seem like anybody can do it. It's not. It's a little like in gymnastics. Like, you can walk across the balance beam, but can you do a cartwheel on it? Like, it's a
I
little
love that
different, right?
analogy.
I think it's kind of, this is a little bit of cartwheeling. And so I'm so excited that we also finally had the opportunity, not that long ago, to go meet up in Manhattan Beach, where it was
Yeah.
just wonderful to be together in the same room and to synergize on all of the 2 million topics that we are excited to talk about, but in a way that you can only get when you're,
In
right
person.
there,
And
right in
yeah.
somebody's, face and holding their hand, which we
Oh,
got to do when we did our photo shoot.
I know. Amazing. I cannot wait to attach those photos to this podcast and the things that we do, because there are some fantastic pictures. So Violetta, who did them for us, Violetta Mayer, I think is her name. Anyway, we'll put a link
Hmm.
to her in the show notes so people can
She's
check her
incredible
out.
because she definitely felt our energy.
Yeah.
You will feel the energy through the pictures, but it felt like, yes, somebody got our relationship and you can see it in a frame. It's
Yeah.
incredible when that
Yeah.
can happen,
Yeah.
So we talked and talked and we ate and ate.
Yeah.
We ate the best salads that I've ever had. And like, by the way, it turns out that when you go with your friend, your bestie, who's a bomb ass nutritionist like yourself, you just actually stand behind them and let them do all the ordering. So I was so happy for Mikki. He was like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Whatever you're having." And it
Yeah.
was, let me tell you, what Mikki was having on top of her salad was next level. Sweet greens. If you live near one, you're
Amazing.
lucky.
I know. Do you live
And
near one, by the
you
way?
do the choose your own. Yeah, not far actually, but it's better when I go with you.
Yeah.
And put everything. We should also put the recipe to a sweet green salad
Yeah.
on this podcast too, because that was kind of exceptional. And then because only the two of us would nosh in between our sweet green salads on protein bars.
Oh,
And you introduced me to, well, we both came with matching New Balances, and we also came with matching barbell protein bars, which
yes.
we love. But the real home run hit that we were just kind of like completely surprised by were these protein bars called David's protein
David's
bars.
protein bars. And these are
The name.
endorsed by the biggest sort of names in podcasting, which might put some people off because, the Peter Attias, the Andrew Hubermans, but they got me intrigued, Jess, and which is why I said, "Hey, Jess, let me order these protein bars, and can you just deliver them to me because we're gonna be
I
in
did.
Manhattan Beach?"
I put all my cute stuff in my
Yeah,
box of David's protein bars and took them. Thank
amazing.
you.
And these have so for a protein bar to have 28 grams of protein without a million calories is next level amazing. And this has 150 calories for 28 grams of protein. It's almost insane. And in addition to that, they do have allulose in it as well. So allulose,
I can't pronounce it, y'all, so I'm working on my pronunciation of allulose. Did I say it right?
allulose, there you
Oh,
go.
God.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And they are like, so allulose, and I did a podcast actually with Dom D'Agostino, which is coming out in a couple of weeks, which goes into it in greater depth. But for people interested in, and Jess and I will likely bring up allulose in a lot more detail as well,
Mm-hmm.
because of our interest in it from a weight loss, a GLP-1 perspective. But it's a sweetener, it's a plant sweetener that has just really interesting physiological effects. So it lowers blood sugar. If you eat this allulose with a source of carbohydrate, it lowers your blood sugar as opposed to raises it. It lowers your insulin. It impacts favorably on the gut microbiome. It keeps you fuller for longer. Like, there are so many interesting aspects of it, and it's all put in a tasty bar, a David
I
bar.
mean, I know you're probably thinking, "Oh my God, these chicks like love each other." And just so you know, folks, in 15 minutes, we talked about how you should pick a friend,
Yeah,
the importance of investing, like depositing and withdrawing. We talked about how excited we are to finally be launching Strength Renewed into 2025, because I honestly think that you will benefit immensely. I have.
yeah, 100.
Just in all the talks that I've had with Mikki in preparing you for this, you will leave a more evolved person for many, many ways.
Yeah,
I
I
talked
love
about
that.
how much I freaking love my friendship with Mix, and
Yeah,
I'm not seasonal. I'll be around forever.
yeah.
She is too. She's gonna give me a nickname. I'm just Jess. I'm fierce Jess. I'm too talkative Jess.
Oh, no way. Isn't it interesting? So what is funny, then people would, like, you'll see some pictures and you will see Jess and go, wow, so fierce. Because that's what I got. And I did not know this about Jess, because you are the least fierce person. But you told me this is how you see yourself.
Which is a whole nother podcast, because I always think it's interesting the way we see ourselves and then how somebody else sees me. And so then I asked you, I'm like, well, how do you see me? If
Yeah.
not fierce, just curiosity, how does Mikki see Jess? How do you
Like,
see me?
one of the kindest, giving,
Mm.
sensitive, caring, vulnerable people I've ever met.
Mm.
Who's
Well,
also hilarious
freaking
as well. Like,
thank
all of it.
God you put
All
that
of
in there, because
it.
I actually think I'm funny. I love
Yeah.
that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Well, that's just fucking wonderful. And we'll just add fierce. We'll add a hashtag at the end of our thing.
Yeah.
Fierce.
Fierce.
Making you just fierce.
Yeah. I love
These
it.
pictures will definitely, they will prove it, but I love mediums, right?
Yeah,
I
you
love
do.
the art of expression. So I think it's
Yeah.
fantastic. We ate ourselves silly. It's so much fun to deep dive into protein, because it's great to geek out on it. And I really am pretty obsessed with this new protein bar. I must tell you, I love anything that literally kind of mimics a little GLP-1 in the body and just kind of can potentially have some nice physiological effects. Who the hell knows,
100%.
right? Like, it's good to introduce your body to things that have a shit ton of protein that also are not heavy calorie laden, and just make you feel a little bit more empowered in your day to day, which quite frankly, it's not just a power bar, but that's kind of like our mission statement. Like, we
Yeah.
want to give you these little pearls in your life so that you feel a little bit more empowered. But I will 100% say that I'm empowered by strength work. I'm empowered by my nutrition plan, but I'm mostly empowered by the friendship I have with you. Quite
Ah,
frankly, you have been a gift. I'm so grateful, several years ago that we met in Legacy in this great business meeting. And, it like, anything superseded my expectations to have a relationship like you in my
yeah.
life. And, I wish this for everybody. I wish everybody could have a Mikki on their team, because they will grow and they will be challenged and they will be loved up. And it's a beautiful thing. So I'm really happy for us.
And Jess, all of that, like you say, that, you want people to have a Mikki on their team, but the reality is this is what this podcast does. It actually puts Mikki and
Mhm.
Jess in people's team, right? And I'm super excited for some of these plans that we've got, based around the topics that we love, which is, of course, all in amongst it. We'll get back to sharing our knowledge and stuff around all the things which we love talking about as well, of course, but it all comes as a package. And so I'm super excited to sort of plan that out as well.
You guys, please, uh, like, enjoy this journey with us, Strength Renewed. But
Yeah.
really, it's just, I hope that you enjoy it, because I certainly have already enjoyed it. And let us know if you think the pictures make us look fierce.
Yes. Well, I don't look fierce. I look,
I think you totally look fierce. You know why you look fierce? Because it's out of your comfort zone. It's something different for you. And I think there's a fierceness high in doing things that put you in uncomfortable places. Because with that, we become fiercer.
I think you could be right. I reserve I reserve judgment. I reserve judgment, and then I'll practice my actual fierce face the next time we do it.
Or you can just keep practicing your bicep curls and your pull ups, and I think we'll be,
There you
here's some
go.
fuck. I'm working just before we go. How many have you gotten to?
Oh, I'm at 192 for January.
100. Oh shit. Okay, you're doing it like that. How
Yeah.
many? Okay, so it's like your goal is to get to how many by the end of the month?
Oh, no, by the end of the year,
Oh,
2025. 20,
oh,
2000,
that's amazing. Oh
2025.
God, I love this.
Yeah.
Can I jump in on this?
Yeah, of
Can I do
course.
it?
Yes.
Okay. So this,
Amazing.
I'm
I'd
going to
love
do
it.
this. So I can do this. So I'm going to
Yeah.
be part of the 2025. So I just like load my pull-ups each day that I do
Yep.
them, just stick them down, whatever I've done,
Yep.
and add it
And
to this freaking list.
and for
Okay.
each day, if you were to start on
Yeah.
January the 1st, you'd need
Yeah.
5.6 pull-ups a day.
Oh, this is good, you guys. We all need to make note of this. I'm going to have to do a little bit of
Doubling
catching
up.
up because
Yeah.
that's
And
okay. Story of
it's
my life, but I'm
yeah,
here for it.
it's totally. And just so you know, Ashley Borden also doing the same thing.
Oh, I love it.
I
Great.
know. I
Ashley,
know.
we're here. We're
Yeah.
here. We're all together on
Yeah,
this
I
team,
love
and
it
good.
too.
Perfect. This
Yeah.
is good. Okay, you all.
Amazing.
So now you too can you can get the protein bars and you can do your 5.6 pull-ups every day. And
Yeah.
yes, it doesn't matter your hand position, right? You can bring them in, you can bring them out.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. You can
Okay.
neutral grip
Okay.
it, whatever is easiest.
Neutral grip it,
Yeah.
whatever it takes. We'll put the link to these we'll put a link to the bars because I do think you might want to get a head start. Even as we launch our podcast, you may want to buy a box of these bars.
I totally
When you're
agree.
sitting down with your sparkling water listening to our podcast, I think it seems like a great idea.
I agree. Lovely, Jess. Well, you have a great night.
You too.
Yay. See
Bye,
ya.
day.